Hello again. This week the students are replacing the transmission in this Avalanche. They've also got a coolant leak on an Expedition that they're going to check out. And we get the Mustang and the motorcycle pressure washed, and we'll let you know where we're heading with those projects. Thanks for tuning in. This Expedition came in with a severe coolant leak. It didn't take long to figure out. It was coming from the right front of the intake manifold, as you can see by a lot of the staining that's here on the engine. So the students are going to get busy pulling this apart and get it taken care of.
The students were very tenacious at getting us some of the more difficult bolts. Since they already had the pressure washer out, they decided to clean the intake off before putting it back in. Since the gasket came with the kit, they decided to replace the gasket on the lower intake.
With the gasket surfaces clean, the students are ready to put on new intake gaskets and then put the intake in place.
One of the bolts got dropped in the valley under the intake. They found it here with the borescope, as you can see. Let's see if they can get it out.
The students weren't having much luck getting that bolt out with the pickup tool or the magnet with its handle, so I ground the rivet securing the magnet to the handle, and then we stuck it in a piece of fuel line. Let's see if that worked out better for them.
The students begin by getting the cross member and exhaust out of the way.
Good? Yep.
Next, the transfer case was separated from the transmission and removed. Then with the bell housing and torque converter bolts removed, they can easily drop the transmission. With the transmission secured on the alignment dowels, the bell housing bolts can go in. We're installing a new gasket and filter on a replacement transmission.
I'm applying thread lock to the torque converter bolt before installing them. I'm holding the crankshaft while he torques the torque converter bolts. Ready?
Vacuuming out leaves and debris before pressure washing. What you just saw the students doing was hand sanding all of the underhood area of our Fox body. Since the customer is doing a color change, we need to make sure that everything is covered in that color change. He is also elected to possibly do a tri-stage color, so that means everything has to be completely clean for priming it before we can lay down the base. With the chassis of the Z1 pressure washed, we're going to get busy getting the chassis ironed out before we begin working on the power plant. Here we're filling some of the pits in the tie rod sleeve before priming it.
We're resealing all the covers on our transmission.
Next time on Bulldog Builds, we'll finish up that Avalanche transmission job by putting in the transfer case. We'll hopefully have the underhood of that Fox body primed and ready for paint. And we'll get that intake job finished up on the Ford Expedition along with some 48 work as well as Z1R. See you next week.